Hey, what's up? I'm Guy.
I'm John.
It's our YouTube channel. Subscribe to it and give this video a like. We appreciate it.
Podcast below in the description. Check it out.
And you already know about our friends at wineaccess.com/ham. 20% off. Go get it.
Yeah, go do a gift right now. Send it to a friend. Wineaccess.com/ham.
It's leaving Indy, right?
Yeah, I was told that it was going to L.A., but then I text Daniel Jeremiah, and he thinks that they're just going to go like town to town, which seems a little crazy to me. I mean, it sucks for Indy. Indy is a perfect town, but yeah, Vegas I'm sure will get it. I think L.A. is going to house the NFL Network, so I mean they'd probably be the first to get it. But I bet a lot of I bet it just operates like the draft. Cleveland, Minnesota, New York. I mean, Philly? Won't all these teams want it?
It's what the NFL does, John. They find something that there's an appetite for, and they just build on it and build on it and build on it. You know. Now you're right. Like, I bet your boy, if you texted Andy Reid right now and asked him, "Do you sit in the same seat at the combine every year?" He'd say, "Yeah, every year I sit at the same seat when I pull out my stopwatch." And Belichick probably in the same booth every year. And you know, this is not let's move the circus around and every year different fans come to the Super Bowl. It doesn't matter. That's in a different stadium. These are people who, while you've been, they're having a good time at night. You can speak to this better than me. They are there to work. Ultimate creatures of habit, right? You don't want to worry about any moving parts. But there's something to be said, even though this is not a fan event, to creating a little bit of a traveling circus.
It became one the last couple of years, though. They have let people in.
You can do you can do a fan experience somewhere around whatever stadium you're in, right? Depending on the kind of the weather in whatever town you're in. But there's stuff you can do to make it something, because nobody else has a combine like this.
I'd expect whenever, in a couple of years, when it officially is announced, the first move, right, whether it's Dallas, whether it's LA, whether it's Vegas, you will get a lot of people coming out negatively, like, why are we doing this? Because like you said, the draft, for example, doesn't impact any team. They don't give a shit. They just work from their war room, right? The Super Bowl, everyone wants to go there, right? And 30 teams it doesn't impact them at all. This is one where you're not just going there to work. You're literally meeting all these players, right? And you just become very accustomed to, like, I know when I talk to like contract negotiators or general managers, and they go, when I went a couple years ago, hey, you want to get a drink? It's like, well, I got 17 meetings today. I don't really have time. Maybe we can get like a late lunch, because they just bang, bang, boom. But when they go to Indy, they've been going for 10, 20 years. They know exactly where to meet. All the hotels connect. If you've never been to Indy, it really is a pretty incredible convention city, because it's all connected, and it's in the wintertime, but you don't ever have to go outside.
Yeah,
it's the great part, because it has all these like tunnels that are connected, and then it just runs right to the stadium. I bet like Albert Breer's Monday morning quarterback in 2023, when it gets announced it's going to Vegas in 24, there will be a bunch of coaches and GMs like, what are we doing this for? Like, why are we?
Well, John, they're Steve Jobs, right? Wear the black turtleneck every day. Don't you eliminate one decision. Elizabeth Holmes, she tried to do the same thing. Didn't quite work as well. But
isn't she claiming she's pregnant and can't go to jail, or is she in jail right now?
I don't know.
I think she's pregnant right now, and she tried to get out by saying something. Maybe it wouldn't. I bet she got pregnant on purpose, right, to avoid jail. Would be my guess with her after watching that show. You can't be trusted.
No, can't be trusted. But it's as simple as, do I have to go downstairs, wait for an Uber? Is it 15 minutes? Who's going to pick me up? I got to schedule this call, schedule this pickup, whatever the case is. There's a bus. What time does the bus go? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, they won't like it. But, I mean, look, to your point, the draft, we're at just the beginning of this draft moving around. And I would say the NFL, they probably think it's very successful. And you can make more content out of this, so they're going to make more content out of it.
Well, think
they didn't remember last year when the GMs were mad about not moving the draft back? Remember how much the NFL listened to that?
Yeah, they don't care.
None.
Well, I think the draft has been a roaring success for them, because for our entire life it was at Radio City Music Hall, and I was lucky enough to go the one year, and it was really cool. And then they started moving around the last 5 years, and they ain't going back, right? I don't even. It's Vegas.
Yeah, it's
Vegas. The Vegas one will be. I think it's Vegas.
Yeah, because Cleveland got last year. Yeah,
because Vegas got booted because of Corona, right? And then they get it back. I wonder if they're still going to do that thing at the Bellagio where they pick up the kids.
Why not? I mean, this is to me, it's about press your advantage. And the NFL, we talk about the NFL scheduling advantages all the time, just the frequency of its games, the fact that all its games are on national television. One of the other major advantages the league has is the NFL's players, the NBA used to have this advantage, is that their players are stars when they come to the league. Not all of them, but a lot of them. Or not even the majority, enough of them. Let me put it that way. Enough of them are stars when they get to the league. They're pre-packaged stars when they get there. And that's what makes the draft, that's one of the things that makes the NFL draft so significant.
Well, think about this. We were talking earlier about the Dodgers-Padre game, and you had it on the TV, and for whatever reason, I just watched it. And I was like, did you watch it? You're like, yeah, I had it on another TV, right? Because it's a baseball game. You don't need to, why would that game be any more important than the previous day or the next day? But if that game was the equivalent of a football game, two of the best teams playing, crowd going nuts, every single person, you, myself included, would have been just watching that game with the volume on, right? I mean, that just would have been a huge – it would have owned social media. It would have been a big event. But in baseball, it was a big game for those two teams. The league, both teams could easily win the World Series. And people kind of watch, maybe not, because you don't have to. And that is a huge disadvantage, I would say. Just baseball, for example, is they got something good going right now with these two teams playing 18 times a year. And how can you force people to be like, well, it doesn't really make or break anything?
Well, the other part of it is, for me, if I had really looked at the television and recognized what was there, I probably would have gone, oh, I need to unmute this and watch this, right? But some of it is just I think we were Wednesday, you're like, oh, the Giants are blah, blah. I'm like, oh, fuck, I forgot they're playing right now. Let me turn it on 1 o'clock. The NFL, no one has to think about the NFL schedule. You don't think about it.
Yeah.
Just some guy who grew up in a family of a big Italian family. He's like, oh, spaghetti dinner every Sunday night at 5. You don't think about, what time's dinner night? We having spaghetti this week? What day are we having spaghetti? Spaghetti dinner, right? Grandma's meatballs. That's the NFL. Just spaghetti dinner every Monday night, 5:30.
But even if you're a diehard fan, let's say of baseball, unless you are consistently checking the schedule or just have some crazy memory, you got no clue who they're playing the next couple weeks. Now, once you see a team, then you just become accustomed. You have this team for 2 or 3 games. But the average Dodger, Giant, maybe some Yankee fans, you couldn't tell me who their series is in 4 weeks.